Crisis Wing is the latest shoot 'em up to get given the EastAsiaSoft treatment, and by that I mean picked up from PC and transposed over onto consoles. It's also on split gen, so PS4 and PS5 get a cross-buy version, and you've also got different versions for the Xbox gens too. With this, I think they've made a boon, because Crisis Wing is my favourite shoot 'em up that EastAsiaSoft have ported over to date, because it plays fluidly, it has a flow state to it, the way how the different enemies all come in and the way how you can move and fly around, and it just runs smoothly and beautifully. Now, this game is originally kind of touted as being a vertical scrolling shoot 'em up, but in the options you can change that and turn it into a horizontal one instead. And I quite like that, because traditionally I've always gone slightly better with horizontal shoot 'em ups as opposed to vertical ones. Don't know why, just a preference. Probably because I was brought up with R-Type and G Darius and Sagaya. So it's great to have the option of either or. You also get the ability to switch the whole gaming screen 90 degrees to the left or right. It's not quite full on tape mode, because it doesn't take full advantage of having that full length of the TV, but it's still a nice addition to have. There's also colourblind mode here too, but I didn't spot very much difference with the colours when I turned it on. So, sorry, I can't see the difference. Hopefully colourblind people do. Into the game itself though, you have either single player or co-op for the experience that you've got, and it goes through 7 stages. Those stages have really well mapped out clusters of smaller enemies and then bigger enemies coming in for you to try and deal with as you go along. Very simple press and hold to shoot. You then have these bombs that come out like green gaseous skulls, and although it appears on the screen as like a big green skull, it actually affects everything on the screen, so it's not what it touches, which took me a little while to understand. But the controls are very fluid, everything feels fair. You have 3 different power-ups that you can pick up, but what I didn't see was any kind of stacking beyond that. So you've got one that lets you shoot out missiles alongside your main bullets, one that has multiple rows going out alongside your main bullets that pop out in front of you, and then one that kind of spears them off in a V, or more of a W shape to be honest, to the side, which means that you don't quite get the full direct attack, but it means that you don't have to line up directly with enemies that are going to kind of shoot vertically down at you. High score challenges are really tricky with Crisis Wing, and I think this was one of the reasons why I really enjoyed playing Crisis Wing. So whenever you clear out a collection of enemies, it then drops a combo high score bonus, but you have to keep collecting them no matter what you're doing, and then they amp up. So they start off with 100, 200, 400, 800, then 1,000, 2,000, all the way up to 10,000. But if you lose one of those as they drop past you, the chain's broken. So then you have to start all the way back from the beginning of that chain again. And the way to get the high scores and essentially get the platinum is to make sure that you collect all of those combos as you go. The beauty is that if you do die, that combo isn't broken, so you can kind of respawn and pick back up again. But obviously you'll respawn out without that extra power up of whatever kind of bullet ability that you've decided to take on board. Bosses are really well done here as well. There's lots of mini bosses halfway through, and alongside that main story mode where you've got the 7 stages in, well, I say story mode, it's just an arcade mode, there's no story there at all, but you do have practice mode to replay specific stages, boss rush mode which puts out all of the mini bosses as well as the big bosses, and then a little mini bit in between, and then there's a time attack mode which comes at you in a world that's surrounded by Tetris blocks, so you have to kind of shoot your way through these blocks as well as all of the enemies around you, and I found that quite an interesting challenge as well, because it's there where that combo of collecting all of those really makes a difference if you want to challenge the high scores on your local leaderboards there. Quick shout out to the soundtrack because I really liked it. It's a mixture of Taito's and Tata Band with a little bit of Kahika Club. I appreciate those are probably niche references for a lot of people, but if you loved arcade games in the 90s, you hopefully know what I'm banging on about. But yeah, this game pleasantly surprised me. I appreciate most people are coming here thinking, is it all right for a cheap platinum or loads of cheap achievements? But this is one of the best budget shoot 'em ups that I've played on console in recent years, and I just love the way how it's designed to flow with all of the enemies and bullets coming towards you in a way that makes you forget that you're shooting back. You're shooting in avoidance in a very flowy way, like waves just going back and forth. I just found it really, really engrossing. Thumbs up from me. Written review over on highplayinggames.com very shortly. If you found this review informative and helpful, please give us a thumbs up. Cheers. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplane-network. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.